an original MCM production.
My name is Barbara Toles, and I'm your host for MATA, Community Media 2016 Election Interview. My guest is Sherman Morton, a candidate for the 2nd District Alderman race.
Yes, ma'am. How are you doing, Ms. Toles? Thank you for having me.
I'm good. How are you today?
Doing great.
I have a few questions. I'm glad that you're here today. First, I'd like for you to please state the district you are running to represent and the geographical boundaries.
Sure, no problem. I'm running for the 2nd Automatic District, which is currently held by Alderman Joe Davis. And if I had to give you, I'll give you streets first, then I'll do some kind of landmarks.
Okay.
Streets furthest south would be Capitol Drive. Furthest north would be roughly Mill Road and a tad bit of Good Hope. Then on the furthest east would be 60th Street or Fond du Lac Avenue. And the furthest west would be Appleton Avenue, and we go way out to the railroad tracks. Now, landmark-wise, people can kind of understand. We're talking about Midtown. We're talking about Marshall High School, Madison High School, West Lawn Housing Projects, the Goodwill on 91st and Fond du Lac, and even as far out as 107th and Mill Road area. That's basically the boundaries.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure.
And what made you want to run for alderman?
Okay. I'll start first with the second part of what made me run for alderman. My original why, they say you need a why to do something. My original why was basically because I looked at the candidates. I was maybe, I want to say the 5th or 6th candidate to jump in the race. So there were plenty of people who were already running prior to me even making an announcement. And as I looked at them and their quote unquote credentials, I looked at it and said, you know, I'll be honest with you, I have far more experience than any of them, or actually all of them put together. I've been currently working, I currently work for Alderman Joe Davis. I've been his legislative aide in the 2nd District for the past 11 years. Prior to that, I worked on a county level. I used to work for former County Supervisor James White. I was his legislative aide for like a year and a half, you know, rest in peace to him. And so my experience is anything that dealt with the 2nd District, all the phone calls, all the emails, any constituent concerns, complaints, they all came through me. And so experience-wise, I knew I had the experience, but the key was this. I knew I had the credentials to back it, but you have to ask yourself, are you mentally prepared to do a job like this? This is just not a job that you punch a clock at 9 o'clock to get in, and then 5 o'clock you go home and then you don't worry about it the next day. This is a 24-hour job. We're talking about you can get a call at 10, 11 o'clock at night from a constituent. So to people who don't know, as an alderman, your number is publicly published. So everyone knows your phone number, everyone knows your address to where you live. So this is not like you're in some secret box. And so somebody can literally knock at your door at 10 o'clock at night. Hey, Alderman such and such and so. Hey, Alderman Sherman, how you doing? And that can happen. And so you have to ask yourself, are you mentally prepared to do a job that's not a 9 to 5 anymore? It's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job. And it took me a while to kind of decide. Spoke with my wife, spoke with my children, prayed on it, of course. And then my wife, my children, my family, they said, you know what? Why not? You are the best qualified and you have the heart for it. So here I am in the race for 2nd District.
Okay. Well, tell me a little bit about what are some of the things, some of the positive accomplishments that have occurred in the district since you've been the alderman's aide?
No problem. The 2nd District, if people don't know, if you look at a lot of districts in the city of Milwaukee, you have some districts that are predominantly white, you have some districts that are predominantly black, some districts that may be predominantly Latino. I think the 2nd District represents the true melting pot in the city of Milwaukee. We have a large population of African American, white, Latino, and we have a very large, if I'm not mistaken, we have the largest Hmong population in the city. And so we are a true melting pot. And the beautiful thing about our district, we have a large homeowner base in the district. And so I think we set ourselves apart from other districts. And if you look at crime stats, homeownership stats of the 2nd Automatic District, I think we're up there in the top maybe 3 out of the 15 districts in regards to how we look as far as income-wise and homeownership-wise. We've done, in working with Alderman Davis in the 2nd District, 2 years ago, we received an award from the police department for actually starting more block watches than any other district in the city. And we're talking 15 districts, we're talking 500 some odd thousand people in the entire city. And the second district had more block watches started in that 1 year than any other district. And in the second district, we live by this. The districts and the areas that have block watches are typically the most safest. Crime is typically always down in those areas. People are more aware politically and socially of what's going on in the community. And so I think that's very important. Some of the positive things, I go to Walmart. I mean, not Walmart, but Midtown in general. We look at some of the positive things happening at Walmart. And I know we're going to get to some of the negative things that's happening at Walmart, but let's talk about some of the positive things. We just recently got word that Children's Hospital is going to have a little, develop a smaller clinic in the old Office Depot location that is now closed down, but they're going to be moving into Midtown, which is fantastic. The next door actually just moved in to an office building that was vacant. It was called Midwest Hospital for a lot of years, but it was vacant for years. And Next Door Foundation moved into that building, gutted it completely, and they have a fantastic program in there for children for K4, K5, and I think they mainly concentrate on children that are below the age of 9 with early child development. Fantastic program happening in Midtown area. And so, wow, there are a lot of things going on. Our block watches, for example. There's an online website called Nextdoor that deals strictly with block watches, and block watches kind of interact with one another, so on and so forth. Our block watches in the 7th district have more or less pioneered utilizing that one for and about keeping neighborhoods safe in the 2nd district. We have Ron Kreisner, for example, block watch captain, who's doing fantastic work using this Nextdoor online application that's just done wonders for crime and crime trends in the 2nd district. But there are a lot of things going on. They're just some of the things that are happening right now, positive-wise, in the 2nd district.
You know, I'm excited about seeing that, and I'm glad you mentioned about Midtown because I live near that area, and it seems that more of the stores are moving out. So I was wondering, as an aldermanic candidate, what can you tell me about what may be coming into there, or what would you like to see in Midtown?
Well, Midtown is the baby. I call it the baby, the 2nd district. It's our pride and joy. If you look at malls in the city of Milwaukee, we're technically only the real mall left in the city of Milwaukee. Granted, we have the Grand Avenue Mall, but we know the Grand Avenue Mall is going through transitions. But Bayshore, Mayfair, those are not in the city of Milwaukee. And so we've had our ups and downs with Midtown. With Walmart, with Lowe's leaving a few years back, and now with the news we got less than a month ago about Walmart moving, you know, it kind of makes you sad. You know, you put your head down and say, wow, we're just doing well. We had Children's Hospital getting ready to go in, and now we get the Walmart news. My ideal for the old Walmart building, for example, is to be truthful with people. One is to not just say, well, we're going to work together with corporate America, and we're going to develop some ideals and get some businesses going to get jobs. That's easy to say. But what we need to be is truthful with people and tell them that when you look at Walmart, Walmart is probably the biggest, quote unquote, big box chain in the country. If you look at that footprint, the building where Walmart was located, I mean, it's huge, it's massive. Not even talking about the tire center along the back end. We have to be realistic and know that there will not be another Walmart that's going to move in that location. We have to just be realistic about that. People have asked, what about Meijer? Can they move in? No, Meijer won't move in there because we have Pick and Save along the other side. They won't allow 2 competing businesses in the Midtown area like that. My suggestion is this. We need to get together with our Department of City Development, whether it be Rocky Marcoux, who's currently the commissioner for Department of City Development, or whoever, get together with the mayor, get together with the owners of Midtown, get together with businesses that are in the Midtown area, and of course we have to include the community and say, hey, listen, have a big meeting and say, hey, listen, we need to figure out what would be a good fit for this location. Because what we found out when Walmart was there, a lot of people who lived around the area actually didn't shop at that Walmart.
That's true.
And so the question you have to ask yourself is, why not? Why didn't they shop there? Why did they go to Menominee Falls? Why did they go out to 124th and Capitol? Why did they go to other Walmarts on the south side and not that one? That area is a great area. You're talking about income levels from $30,000 to $50,000, but why didn't they go to that Walmart in particular? And those are issues we have to deal with, and only the community can tell us. The community has to give us an ideal of what they would like to see and what would be sustainable there. Because it's one thing just to say, it'd be great, we need to get this particular business in this location. But if the neighbors aren't for it, if the neighbors aren't going to shop there, then it's going to be gone also. You know, what I would like to see also, that area is structured just for retail. I would love to get with the commissioner, with Department of City Development and the mayor, once I become alderman in the 2nd district, say, hey, listen, what about doing maybe some light industrial to parcel out this location? because there's no way a big retail is going in there. Let's just be realistic. It's gonna have to be cut up somehow, some way, maybe along the back end where there's no traffic, there's not a bunch of cars, plenty of room for trucks. We can maybe include some light industrial there. Light industrial is always jobs available in light industrial field, but that's just something we have to work at. But that's just one of my ideals that I would like to see for Midtown.
Well, when you talk about the residents of that area not going to Walmart when Walmart was there, did you ask the people why they weren't shopping at that Walmart?
Well, the calls that I would get, again, as being legislative assistant for the past 11 years, we got quite a few calls in regards to Midtown. And people had the basic questions, the basic concerns. They say, hey, listen, I don't like going to Walmart because, we had talks with management at Walmart. The people didn't like the long lines in Walmart. People didn't like the customer service was always bad in Walmart. Now, people, of course, generalize everything. Of course, the customer service wasn't always bad. The word always just, of course, we know that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. But people had legitimate concerns about people out in the parking lot loitering, panhandling, the CD man, the sock man, we're all familiar with that. And the security for Midtown and Walmart would say they're doing the best they can, but they need more police support. The police would then say, well, we need Midtown and Walmart to crack down more. So it was always this battle between the police and Walmart to figure out whose job was it to move certain people around. But ultimately, as a business, whatever business we get to go in there, we have to have them understand that if you want people to respect your establishment and shop at your establishment, you have to therefore respect the demands of the customers. And if the customers are complaining about whatever the concern is, you have to take that seriously. Just like with my job, people call the Alderman's office about everything. I had people call me every year and ask, well, when is trick-or-treating? And I'm thinking like, I had a couple people who got upset with me because I didn't know. But I can't get mad at them and say it's a dumb question. No, I have nothing to do with it. No, I have to find out then.
Sure.
Because if a person if they pick the phone up and they call and they have a question, it's my job to find that answer, whether it be something for the county, something for the state, something for the federal government. I say, well, hold on, I don't have the answer now. Let me find out the information for you. And as a business owner with Walmart or whatever business we get in there, they have to respect the wishes of the customers. If not, the customers will go somewhere else. And let me clarify that. That's not to say that's the reason why Walmart left. Walmart left, they made an international decision. They closed 300 stores across the entire world. 150 of them were in the United States that they closed. So it wasn't that they closed at Walmart because of the problem they were having with panhandling, things like that. They made a corporate decision worldwide that they were going to close so many different stores. Walmart in the city of Milwaukee was one of 4 stores that got closed down around the city of Milwaukee area. This was the only big box store. The other ones were the smaller, I think they called them community stores. Walmart's, the one in Menominee Falls, the one on 124th and Capitol, they were considered more community Walmarts, like smaller stores. We were the only big store that got closed down.
Markets.
But I'm not saying they closed mainly because markets, community markets. They didn't close that down because of not that I know of, I'm not in Walmart's corporation, but they said it was a low performing store, and that's why East Capitol stayed open and that one didn't. So, but it's a hit to us, but it's not a hit we can't come out of.
Well, it's excuse me, it's a major hit in that area. And as someone who lives in that area, I know one of the concerns was safety, and that's the reason that the people did not go to Walmart. So with that said, with whatever store you bring into that area, what would you do as an alderman to help people in that area feel safe about going to whatever store it is that ends up being in the Walmart location?
And that's key. I'm glad you're bringing that up. This is a meeting prior to, maybe 2 weeks before we got the announcement about Walmart closing. We had a meeting in that area with the police department, with Concordia College that's in that area, and some businesses also came. Walmart was there, Pick and Save was there, and the police read off the crime stats for the area. The Midtown area in general, crime really isn't necessarily a factor. Like if you look at the crime trends, there haven't been any shootings in that area, haven't been any murders in the area. There was one shooting that happened, a gun went off and it broke the window at Concordia College. But for the most part, crime from the police records was not like a major issue. But the perception of crime is what can really make or break a person's mentality. Because if you perceive there's crime in the area, whether you know the stats or not, stats don't mean anything to you. If you feel it's unsafe, and if you perceive it's an unsafe area, then in your mind, I can't go there because I may get robbed, I may get mugged, and there are people up there taking purses. Even though those things did not happen in that area, once that perception is placed in a person's mind, it's just there. And you can't really change the perception of a person because that's their reality. So what we need to do, and what I need to do once I become alderman, to change that perception is really we need to start a PR campaign, basically. What Midtown has not done and does not do for the owners, I don't think they promote themselves very well. They don't promote themselves as being like, if you ask a person what they know about Midtown, they know about Walmart, they know about Pick and Save. There are a lot of stores along the 55th Street side. You know, people know about Planet Fitness when they moved in, but people don't know about the stores that are there. The services that they can actually get, instead of going to different parts of the city, they can actually go to Midtown and get those services depending on what store they may be looking for that they may not know is there, because I don't think Midtown, the owners per se, don't do a good enough job of advertising themselves. And I think we need to change the perception by combating it head on. We need to, for whatever negative perceptions put out there, we need to combat it with positive perception. And I as an alderman need to assist in that by, in my newsletters, maybe have more events in the Midtown area that bring people to the Midtown area so they can say, well, you know what, I thought it was bad over here, but it's not. It's actually nice over here. Mm-hmm. You know, there's some things I can work with the people who own Midtown about aesthetically, what we can do about the perimeters. You know, maybe we need to work on maybe making things look better, maybe more greenery, maybe more fence. I'm not a landscaper, but, you know, work with somebody who's a landscaper to work on things. There was money put into the budget maybe 5 years ago. We were trying to establish a Midtown BID, Business Improvement District. And Alderman Davis was able to get money with the lighting, when they put up their brand new lighting along Capitol Drive from Final Act to 60th Street, each piece of lighting that was put up was equipped with a plug. And what we wanted to see done was during Christmas time and holiday seasons, be able to put up Christmas wreaths along. You know how you come downtown?
Yes.
And it's beautiful downtown at Christmas time.
Yes, it is.
That was the vision for Midtown maybe 5 years ago that Alderman Davis had. But the owners of Midtown went through a transition. They sold the property to another owner. And it's all about building new relationships now with them. But we need to really just make the area look better, make it more appealing, and people will come. But we have to combat the negative perception with the positive truth. And sometimes it's hard to get truth in. People love a negative lie, to be honest. It's hard to combat lies sometimes. So we need to reinforce that with positive truth about what's really happening in Midtown versus the negative perception people believe.
Now, we're talking about Midtown. Now, what about the rest of the district? What would you say are the needs of the people in the second district?
The second district, like I said, it's a melting pot. And depending on where you live in the second district, you have different concerns. Some parts of the city you may go to, their number one concern is crime, or their number one concern is jobs. The second district is we have the largest district in the city. Let me just put that out there. We have roughly 41,000 households in the second district. And depending if you live on 170 Mill Road, or you live in the Midtown area, or you stay on 68th and Villard area, everybody has their own particular concern. For example, people who live along Capitol Drive, between Capitol Drive and Melvina, and you're familiar with this area by the Dean Park.
Yes.
A big issue is happening there, right off Capitol Drive, which is the busy thoroughfare to get you to suburbs to the east and suburbs to the west. Over along Hampton Avenue, right off the Final Act Freeway. The main issue they're dealing with is what they call rolling drug deals, or what I call drive-by drug deals. People pull up in a car along the park area by the Dean Park, along one of those streets from 60th to 67th Street, and they park their car and they sit and wait. Then next thing you know, another car pulls up, some guy gets out, does a little drug transaction, and then the people are gone. Now, granted, the neighbors are calling the police, and they are doing their job, but by the time the police get there, of course, the drug dealer's gone, the people are gone, you know. And so that's a main issue. I know they're dealing with those two sections. We have an area along 68th and Silver Spring. They're just now starting to experience a lot of break-ins, garages, and home break-ins. And so it's just not, we don't have a cookie-cutter district. So depending on where you live is going to depend on your particular needs. Along 91st Street, between Mill Road and Good Hope, their number one concern is not crime, it's not jobs. Their number one concern is, what are we going to do about these cars speeding on 91st and Good Hope? Between Good Hope and Appleton Avenue, what are we going to do about that? That's their number one concern. When the street's going to be fixed, and what are we going to do about speeding? So it depends on where you live at, the second district.
Okay. Well, we're just about to wrap up, and
Really?
so I would like to know, I would like to give you an opportunity to tell us why you would be the best choice for the alderman for the second aldermanic district.
Well, I'll make this brief. I'm gonna give you one word, then I'll expound on that one word. One word is experience. I have the experience. I've been there for 11 years. I know the block watch captains. I know the residents. I know the businesses. The business owners in the district, they know me personally. And so I think capitalizing on that personal relationship that you have with businesses, I think that's key. With residents, with businesses, I think that's what takes you from being just some guy who just wants to kind of get in there and get a job and kind of fill yourself around to working from day one. From day one, I'm ready to work. There's no filling out process with me. I've been there for 11 years. I know the people, I know the district, I know the constituents. So I'll leave it at that. I know we're winding down on time, so I won't stretch out.
Okay. Any last minute items you'd like to say to the voters?
April 5th, April 5th, April 5th, get out to vote. It's a presidential election also. So vote for your president and also vote for Sherman Morton, 2nd District Alderman, Sherman Morton, like the salt, I gotta say that. 2nd District Alderman, Sherman Morton, April 5th.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Toles, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
An MCM production.